What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and George Takei wants you to suffer. No, he wants regular Americans to just suck it up and pay higher prices for everything because, well, you apparently can. I don't know. I mean, it seems like yet another hilariously brain dead, out of touch comments from a Hollywood elite, but this time there's actually like some backlash because there's something awfully funny about George Takei, whose net worth is north of $10 million, telling Americans, whoever that is, that they can endure higher prices for food and gas if it means putting the screws to Putin. What? Tell that to the mom, the single mom who's working two jobs, and the dollar increase in gas means she now has to choose between paying her electric bill and buying baby formula. Tell that to the dude who's working 13 hours a day and driving 45 minutes to get there, who now has to spend an extra $100 a week, $100 he didn't have. There is millions, 100 million Americans, maybe 150, 200 million Americans, that a large increase in necessities like gasoline so they can get to work, or produce and food, that, like, they're living paycheck to paycheck, and having to pay an extra $50 a week for stuff matters. I know that it's easy when you're, again, worth north of $10 million, but this isn't the first time George Takei has been an absolute moron. I mean, look at this. First of all, he tweets this yesterday, 5 o'clock. We can endure higher prices for food and gas if it means putting the screws to Putin. Consider it a patriotic donation in the fight for freedom over tyranny. Now, I see a lot of like weirdo leftist bots in my tweet talking about how, well, George Takei was in a internment camp, therefore he can't say anything wrong. I mean, look, I congratulate him on his success, and I obviously that's wrong and should never have happened, but it has nothing to do with his nuclear bad takes that he has almost every single day. Let's take a look at just some of the replies to this. Viva Frey, George Takei, net worth $14 million, 3,200 likes. Luke Rudkowski, you're rich. Poor people are going to get screwed by this bozo, 1,200 likes. Defiant L's with 6,000 likes, reposting George Takei's own tweet from 2021, writing, we already redistribute wealth from many to the few, from poor and middle class to the rich. Time to flip the script. Yeah, I mean, George Takei, you have 14, I guess, according to the internet, net worth is always like at best directional. I'm sure it's not exact, but let's just say north of $10 million. I mean, are you going to help everyday Americans pay for the additional cost in gasoline? Like, there will be people, lots of them, not just a few, that have to make legitimate financial decisions, choosing between, maybe letting their kids go, I don't know, on a field trip with school, or, I don't know, go to the movies with their kids, or pay electric bills, or whatever the case. Like, $300 extra a month is a lot of money, George. And that's what $1.50 extra a gallon, is going to do. $1.50 to $2 a gallon is going to do to people that have to drive to get to work. Now, I don't know how the transportation system works, but I imagine buses and all these type of things, that cost will get passed down at some point, but maybe not. Maybe they're supported by tax dollars and gets passed down that way. But again, George, net worth 15 to 20 million, where everyone's just reminding him that he's extremely wealthy. And like, here's your boy Charles Kahn, tell me the truth, I'm ready to hear it. The U.S. has no responsibility to defend Ukraine. You're just a warmonger. And you have like, I mean, I suppose he gets likes anyway, but even the left, are you going to help feed us, George? I live on disability and can't afford it. Disability, if you're on disability or a fixed income, like Social Security, like the increase, $2 a gallon in gas, and like wheat price increase and things like that, like that is devastating. Devastating. you're like can't even afford to go work the job that you have. Or if you have fixed income, you can't afford to go to the grocery store or to the doctor or things like that, because now gas, like, you're already living on the razor's edge. This is the definition of trading your humanity for patriotism. George will be fine with higher food and gas prices. He's worth $14 million. The poor and lower working class in both countries want no part in the wars, especially if it's going to add to the financial stress they already feel. Ross Schumann writing, just a reminder that the guy who will never have to worry about whether he can afford be able to drive to work is telling you to make a donation with your money to benefit him. We could drop the price of gas in the United States by increasing our production and get rid of Russian oil. Of course, I've talked about that at length too. There's a reason that your government here in the United States, and maybe in Europe too, chooses to only buy their gas from communists and terrorists. It's like, I guess I don't know about Europe's oil reserves, but here in the United States, there's absolutely plenty of it. Yet we continue to just, we for some reason, we just have to buy our oil from like the worst people on the planet. I mean, you tell me why they're doing it. Just getting absolutely destroyed. Americans, we have money to drop bombs on Somalia last week and start a war with Russia, but no money for our citizens who are struggling during the 3 years of the lockdown. Yeah, I mean, they're not wrong. I've been on record saying many times that I don't want the United States to be the world police, and I think we're, wasting American lives getting involved in nations that don't even want us there in the first place. Too many people, higher food and higher gas prices mean they'll literally struggle to put food on the table and pay their bills. This, in addition to record levels of inflation, which have already made life difficult on them. Look, I understand where I'm at financially, but I wasn't always there. I lived paycheck to paycheck until I was like 35. And I remember, like, when I worked at Walmart, they used to let us write checks for like $20 or $40 over. And I would basically like write checks back then and hope to God that they didn't cash it for like 2 days because it would bounce. Like, you're playing that game just so I could put gas in my car and drive to school. Like, it was, I know what an extra, if gas had gone up $2 a gallon during that point, I wouldn't have been able to drive to school. Like, it was insane. That was when I was in college, of course. But like, even after college, I worked 2 jobs. I worked like my career job. Then I also worked at a pizza joint just to have a few extra dollars on the weekends. An extra $50 to $75 a week in expenses would have been untenable. It would have been a major disruption. This in Bounding into Comics. Star Trek actor George Takei calls on Americans to endure higher prices for food and gas if it means putting the screws to Putin. Back in February, Takei used Russia's invasion of Ukraine as a political wedge in the United States, writing, "The situation in Ukraine is deadly serious, and America requires serious leadership. The mega GOP politicians were not serious people. They are trolls, attention seekers, and Putin apologists. We cannot allow them to control the levers of power in the military ever again." Trump lives in this guy's head rent-free. By the way, if you think Putin would have did this under Trump, raise your hand. You know what I mean? If you think he never would have, make sure you click that red subscribe button under the video. I'm no like Trump worshiper. I think he was wildly there were many things that he promised that he didn't deliver on, just like literally every president. The one I'm most concerned about was Section 230. The thing he said he cared about and then suddenly only cared about it when he got banned from Twitter and had lost all power to do anything about it in the last months of his in office. He would again do this toward the end of February, writing, "We need to hang Putin around the neck of every pathetic, fawning GOP coward who has ever praised him or even failed to condemn him. No mercy. Russia!" Horrified at the brazen, illegal ambitions of the despot in Moscow, praying for the many brave souls in Ukraine. Look, the Russian people don't want this war either. That's like and like if you say that, they're like, oh, were you pro Putin? No. But I'm just saying, like, dude, the people I have lots of Russian viewers, and they don't want this either. They go out of their way to email me and say, bro, what the heck? Why are you, I don't want this. Like they're held captive by him. Like they don't want this. The Ukrainian people obviously don't want this, but Russian citizens don't either. It's a crap situation, but let's not pretend like everything associated with Russia is automatically evil. Yes, Putin, not a good guy. The tens of millions of people that live in Russia, they don't want this. Maybe some do, I don't know. Some probably do. But like, again, George Takei uses Putin to, use fear and like, it's insane. Adam Baldwin writes, just 15 years to slow Putin's spread. Inflation as a war tax. See also the patriotic correctness narrative, posting George Takei's. YouTuber La Rania responded, nobody asked you to speak for me. Now, if you want to pay my bills, we can talk. Yeah. I mean, here's Mecha Random. I cannot. I am not the only person who literally cannot afford any more cost increases. These warmongers need to be stopped. Tim Pool writing, these people are evil. He's right. It's easy to say that when you've got $10 million in the bank. Like I quoted him, and there were people in my replies that were like, so what that he's worth all this money? Like, bro, you get that that's my point, you clown. That he can afford it, and it's extraordinarily easy for him to call for everyone else to bear the brunt. Like, he started in a camp and earned 10 million. So? Yeah, that's a great success story. He should have never been there in the first place. How does that change a word he said? Are you saying that everyone can just be worth $15 million? Like, I don't even get it. All these weird leftists posting my net worth, which is hilarious, not even close to accurate. And like, again, my point is that it's easy for him to say that. What would your point be talking about how much money I make? I'm not telling everyday regular Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck to pay more to own the Putin. He is, not me. These people are all dumb. Just dumb. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.